It's nothing to worry you, done purely routine, and it's just done to me before. Right, just to let you know, the boat you're travelling on, the Millennium Diamond, she's fully equipped with life-saving equipment. You can see it on the outer edges of the boat. 4 emergency exits are downstairs at the front, and it still stands here today. It was only due to stay for 2 or 3 years. As I said, due to the amount of money it makes, it will probably stay here forever. And as you can see to the right, it does get very busy on the south bank of London. A nice place to go for a walk. It's a lovely day for a riverside walk. You can walk between Tower Bridge and the London Eye, up and down the Thames path, and there's lots of things to see and do along the way. The railway bridge, the station is to the left, the glass building with a curved roof. Give the people a wave on the footbridges here. The golden Jubilee walkways, placed here to celebrate the Queen's 50th year on the throne, her golden Jubilee. And as we go beneath the Charing Cross Railway Bridge, we pass over the Bakerloo Underground line. So we run between 2 railway lines at the same time. The Bakerloo runs underneath the boat at this point, parallel to Charing Cross. One of the big since sadly passed away. Michael Jackson, they've all performed inside that building, all since sadly passed away. We're just waiting for the Justin Bieber concert now. I'll come soon. Off to the left, on the river's wall, the stone column, Cleopatra's Needle. That's the oldest thing you're going to see today on the river. A nice photo. If you were passing on the tour bus there, it's blocked by the trees from the roadside. So a nice picture from the river. Said to be over 3,500 years old, and they were always constructed as a pair, the sister to this needle. It stands in Central Park in New York City. And the bridge we're approaching, Waterloo Road Bridge. We know it better by its nickname, the Ladies' Bridge. This bridge was built by women during the Second World War. So men, they were fighting through the war, and women back home, they built the longest bridge in London. The only bridge that was ever finished on time, and it was built by the women. Built using a self-cleansing stone. As we pass underneath, you'll see it's a lot dirtier underneath compared to the face. A self-cleansing Portland stone. So every time it rains in London, the face of the bridge gets a clean, and obviously underneath, where the rain doesn't penetrate, it stays a lot dirtier. So this is the western boundary line, and the eastern boundary line, Tower Bridge. When most of us talk about London, we refer to Greater London. And over 600 square miles, 32 boroughs, but the actual city is just 1 square mile. And one of the newest apartment complexes is ahead of us to the right. People often get off the boat, they ask us about the building, or they point it out, £1 million for an apartment. Boy, as you can see, it's carved above the entrance door. Today the building is offices for JP Morgan, a very wealthy bank. That's their head office to the left. And we're going to take you through the centre arch of the road bridge. We should be using this arch to the right, the number 4 arch. We navigate on the right, on the starboard side. Obviously the tide is too high, we can't fit through, so we're taking you through the centre arch. You'll see we're pretty close, the tide is quite high. We quite often can't fit through this arch. Okay, the tide quite often comes up too high and we can't fit through this bridge. That's the lowest bridge of the cruise, the Blackfriars Road. And the next one here, the Blackfriars Railway Bridge. Some of you may know the station is on top of the bridge. So they placed the station over the railway line to make it. So they predicted thousands of people would rush into London via this £1 million on the project, and it was finished in 2013. Way too late. A year too late. What a waste of time. And if you look up to the left, a great view here, St Paul's Cathedral, the dome with the golden cross, crypt of the building. A lovely building to pay a visit, St Paul's. You can walk up through the Whispering Gallery, come out on top of the dome, and there is a viewing platform on top of the dome. There's nobody up there at the minute, but you can see the iron railing and the doorway that leads out onto the viewing gallery across London. Just bear in mind, it's a very old building. They don't have any lifts or elevators, so you have to climb over 500 steps to get to the viewing platform. The Millennium Footbridge, this one. This bridge has a nickname, the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. It was opened on a Saturday morning by the Queen, and it was closed the same day by the police. The bridge used to sway about 2 feet to either side. So if you look to the right, for any Shakespeare fans, Piers Globe. The only building to be allowed a thatched roof since the Great Fire of London, 16. When the play started, they would collect the boxes and put them into a room where they issued the tickets, and they called the room the box office. Right, so that's where we get the term from today. And as we clear this bridge, look to the right, a very famous pub, a very old pub, over 400 years old. The building with the red window frames, it's quite busy in the beer garden. The Anchor, and it was built in 1615. Said to have been used by William Shakespeare. He used the pub as a changing facility. Dr. Johnson, Samuel Pepys, Charles Dickens, William Shakespeare, they've all used that pub over the years. And this is the Cannon Street Railway Bridge we're passing underneath. Something coming up for the children, for the kids. To the right. In between the buildings we have the Shard off to the right, Western Europe's tallest building, standing over 1,000 feet tall. Offices, a casino, a hotel, restaurants, apartments. The man that designed the Shard, he was offered £2 million, so they say. He turned it. It's written in the stonework, a nice photo, it's on the left as well. Not to be confused for the bridge ahead of us, which lots of people call London Bridge, but that bridge ahead of us is a tower. On our journey. If you look to the left, in my opinion, the best viewing platform in London is to the left. So behind the blue glass building, above it there, you can see a building with a curved roof and a white frame. There's not many people up there, maybe a couple. It's known as the Sky Garden. Has anybody been there? A few of you have. Not many people seem to realise it's here, but the Sky Garden, it has a rooftop garden on top of the building. It stands 100 feet taller than the London Eye. They've got a couple of restaurants, there's a bar, there's a viewing deck, and it's free. So they don't charge a single penny to go to the Sky Garden. Completely free, and as I say, you can spend a couple of hours on it. The warship we're approaching, ahead of us, to the right, the HMS Belfast. If you look to the front of the warship, this flag that you can see hanging from the flagpole, this is the only Union Jack in London. Alright, you might have seen lots of flags that are identical to that. A Union Jack. She saw action during the Second World War, and she has 9 decks to explore. You can see a few people tucked away, open to the public. From the Captain's Bridge down to the engine ship terminal, we get cruise ships tie up to the warship. Other warships, they come into London for a courtesy visit. And the cruise ships, they board passengers from the left, from Tower Pier, and they load luggage before going back outward bound. And that is Tower Pier to the left, that's our stop. You can see Lee's taking us past the pier. We're going to take you for a nice photo pretty soon. We're just going to wait for this river traffic to clear up. This is Tower Bridge, not London Bridge. Got some people confused the two. Easily remembered, this is the one with 2 towers. And in between the 2 towers, what the bridge is famous for. The 2 centre roadways that can open They weigh over 1,000 tonnes each, and it doesn't take very long to lift. Would anybody like to watch Tower? All over the internet. No, if you do have internet access, you can find out a lifting schedule. If you type in Tower Bridge lift times, it gives you a lifting schedule. So you can time your visit, come back, and watch the bridge open. At the top, on the two catwalks, there's a glass floor. They've recently opened. You can go up one of the towers, walk across the top, and look down over the river. Tower Bridge experience. They open the bridge completely free. It doesn't cost. Well, don't call them that. Call them yeoman warders. Right? They don't like the term beef eater. That was my best joke, by the way. I've been working on that for over a year. Tough crowd. We're going to take you into the pier now. We'll land you safely ashore. You can escape. When we leave Tower Pier, we go to Greenwich. All right. If you want to do the longer trip, this boat goes to Greenwich. Okay. If you would like to return, it's quite simple. Change boats at this stop. If you have a ticket for the buses, the sightseeing buses, they don't run in Greenwich. Most importantly, did you enjoy the trip? Yes, fantastic. Thank you very much. I did mention at the start of the cruise, we're not guides, we're not commentators, some of you know this, we are just a crew. We're Thames Wholesome, and a very old tradition, we'll pass on local knowledge as though it would have been done many years ago. You'll see some of these other boats are sister ships, they play an audio guide machine for lots of the day, and we get very bad feedback. Much better feedback when we do it this way. Right? There's no training for it, the company won't train us, they don't pay us for it. We do it completely voluntary, and we leave by the exit. You're doing, enjoy the rest of the sunny day if you're in London. Thank you very much. Thank you.